Charlene, hi everyone. Good to see you, and hope you're having a lovely week. And also, happy Mother's Day to any mothers who might be watching today. Okay, today I'm flying solo, and I'm just going to take you through a few holiday snaps. Last week I was in Italy for a sword fighting workshop, and we had a free day to go around and take a few pictures. Unfortunately, the free day happened to be Monday, which meant that all state museums were closed. But I still managed to get a few pictures of the exterior and the courtyards of castle. So my plan is to go through that today and have a look and see what we can pick that might be good crafting inspiration. Hey Mia, good to see you. Okay, before we start, I'm just going to drop the link to the community showcase in case anyone has any models they want to show off later. There we go. And yeah, I don't want to turn this into a history lesson, but we're going to start with some context just to, so that we all know what and where we're talking about. So with that, let's go to the map. Okay, so the Castello Sforzesco is right in the middle of Milan, right next to this lovely park. And it was built in the 1400s. The site was originally occupied by a previous castle, built by the Visconti in the 1300s, but the site has been fortified even during the Roman period. So the way I got in was through this gate here. And what we're going to do is follow this passage up into the courtyard and out this way. Okay, now what you see today is a standalone building, but originally this was part of the fortifications of the city. So bear with me. There we go. Okay, looking at this map here. This is where the castle originally was. Still is actually. And this grey line shows the position of the medieval walls. The red and blue lines are the positions of the original Roman walls. In the 1570s, it was also packed into a larger set of fortifications. So you can see a whole set of bastions and stuff around it. Unfortunately, none of those are there anymore. The moat is still present, but it has been drained, and the southern part has been filled in. Hi Lisa, good to see you. And this is what it would have looked like in the 1600s. Again, this is the southern part facing the city. This gatehouse is still present, as are these towers, but again, this part of the moat has been filled in. This bastion has been demolished and so on. So what you have here is a plaza with a fountain. Moat. Okay, the northern part of the moat is still there, but it has been drained, so it's just a grassy area now, which we're going to look at in a second. Okay, this is the wall on the northwestern approach. And here you can already see a few things to unpack. First of all, these small holes all over the place. So I'm told this is a fairly common thing in Italian brick architecture, especially around the Renaissance. And there's just attachment points for scaffolding. They're not very deep, and Basically, they would be used when they were building up the place, but they just left them there, in case they needed to maintenance and stuff like that. They're also fairly common in churches, but in churches you wouldn't see them because they would be covered over with, the brick would be covered over with a nicer material later on. The other things here are these humongous windows. Back. And yeah, these windows are huge and they're kind of unexpected for, the outer wall of a fortification. But it seems they were not part of the original design. They were still added in there in the 1500s, 1400s and 1500s, but they were not part of the original plan. Basically, once the castle got absorbed into a larger ring of fortifications, it was no longer necessary to have, a solid wall in there. Okay, and the other thing that I'm liking in here is the variation between the foundation and the rest of the castle. We're going from these stone blocks to brick. I have a tendency to when I'm designing a model, I'm just going to go over the same all over the surface with the same material. But just looking at this place reminded me that hey, put variations. It's the materials might look very different, but they do go together, and it does make the whole place look a lot more interesting. Okay, the chat. Where did I leave the chat? Ah, here we go. Campaigner is saying, my inner rogue is screaming, I can climb those holes. Uh, I know you're a tall guy, but they're spaced a bit wide apart, so that might be a bit tricky. But yeah, I'll be honest, when I saw them from a distance, that was my first thought too. Okay, what do we have here? Okay, same thing as I was saying with the variations of material going up between different floors. You've got that layer of harder stone, and when we look at the arches, they're always supported by these harder stones here, so it's not brickwork all the way through. I will be posting some of these online later, so that if you want to have a closer look, you can look at the pictures. But one thing I'd like to point out here is how the arches fit together. We've got all the bricks have been cut to butt up together. Okay, now one thing I'm thinking about this, for example, is that would I want to build this brick by brick? Not really. So for this kind of thing, I would probably want to go with Jared's method of scraping the stones. When I was young and fit and used to free climb, I could have seriously considered it. Now, yep, totally. Those arches are just screaming to have grotesques installed in them. Kind of, maybe. I don't think it would fit the time period, but yeah, I could see some stuff being at the top. But remember that this is a fortress. The main job is to be solid, not to look pretty. But then again, I mean, like you get variations in usage and so on. So why not? Okay, one thing we can point out here is this, which that looks like a cannonball to me. So again, surface damage, keep it interesting. I should really have had someone in this picture for scale, to be honest, but yeah, those things are huge. Right. There's a view of the defenses up top. Now, the way these are set up makes me think that the roofing was added way later, rather than being part of the original design. Because if you're going to have a roof, why do these? I haven't looked it up, so I'm not entirely certain, but that's what it looks to me right now. I will definitely be reading up more on it though. Sorry. Now here we see the this part of the wall around the window is plastered. Would the whole thing have been plastered? I have no idea. Again, that's something to look up. I kind of doubt it. But definitely, the interior definitely is plastered, at least in some parts. So that's something that we shall look at shortly. But again, sticking to the idea of surface variation. Even here, if we look at this section, which is all brick, you've got different colors and shades. So that's probably bricks that have been replaced over time and different sections of wear and so on. For example, the I'm going to say that some of these bricks are much older than these bricks, for example. And again, we have a little more damage here. That doesn't look like weird. It looks like it got hit by something. That window, so oh yeah, absolutely. The windows are beautiful. Are those cannonball patches in dual? Do you think? Uh Depends on which ones you're talking about. I'm like, this the hole that's on screen right now is probably an impact from cannonball or a cannonball or something. But I think the rest is just weathering and weathering and wear. Because if you look at this one, it's just a single brick that's been replaced here. If we look at this cannonball hole here, or what I think is a cannonball anyway, that looks like a lot of bricks would have been impacted. So a lot of bricks would have had to be replaced. Okay, going on to the next one. Moat. Again, remember that this would have been flooded in the up to the 1700s, I would say, possibly later. Now that looks like a window, but it is actually door-sized, just to give you an idea of the scale. And that's the window on top of it, so you get an idea of how huge that thing is. And also, Cross, that's what I meant, that the things are quite far apart. I This looks like I could fit comfortably through it with my hands raised, so It's pretty big, and in scale, in proportion, those things are pretty much the same height, maybe slightly less. To the right of the dark patch of brick, the color is lighter. Like this area. Yeah, I think it's just individual fixes and so on, especially because, again, you've got more damage over here and so on. I think it just needs to be replaced over time, and some bricks last longer than others and that kind of thing. Okay, another thing to point out here is that, again, usually we just use the same size bricks and just keep going over with the whole thing. But if you look here, the different sizes of bricks are being used all over. I think it's more easily visible here. Okay, more of that window. Oh, this is a bit blurry, so let's just go ahead. Okay, we've got some obvious signs of water here. So again, things to bear in mind when weathering and painting up something. It's like if there's going to be water or stuff, that's going to affect the surface. And what else do I have here? Yeah, let's take a closer look at the window. Got so many layers in there. Now, for the window, I think you could make a good approximation with layered foam, but I'll be honest, I think this is something that I would probably want to 3D print or something like that. Or sculpt it and cast it, because let's see if I have a better picture of it. You've got all that rope work and carving in there. That's that's just going to be a nightmare to do in foam. Although now that I think about it, you could possibly make most of it out of foam and then use twisted wire to make up these coils over here. I'm almost done with a huge build. If the stream makes me start a castle, I'm I'm a bit so angry. Do it, Cross. Search your feelings. You know you want to. Let's see. So, yep, possibly it's going to be like one layer, two layer, step with another layer. So that's three, and then this twisted wire here to make this rope effect. 4, 5, 6. Another layer of twisted wire. 7. And this section here, I think I might go for, I'm going to say card maybe, just to get those little bump effects. Might be a little fragile. Could possibly go for plastic card. But I think with a hole punch you might be able to get a pretty good approximation of that. And I'm saying plastic card because that's going to be a lot less fragile than card or foam in there. Especially since this is not supported by the by anything under it. It's just floating there. Mm, yeah, I mean, those are definitely modern paints. You wouldn't get that in the 1600s. Uh, Stained glass, maybe. I don't think so, just because I don't think that's something that would be in the would be used in a civil or military architecture. That's more of a church thing. But what would probably be there is lots of small panels of glass. So you could have a huge window, but you could it would be paneled. Like you would get leaded glass or stuff like that, but uh, again, going with this, probably again, they had top dollar to spend, so it would probably be clear glass. Definitely not stained because again, it's not a church building. So yeah, I think I'd go with that. It's like paneled glass, and of course some kind of wooden covering over that. Okay, and then you've got these little borders on here. Seems strange that the window would be so big when the rest of the building is built to withstand cannonballs. Yeah, that's the thing. The windows were not part of the original plan, from what I can understand. So uh, these would have been introduced around 40 or 50 years later, and by that time, if I'm not mistaken, the an outer ring of fortifications had been built. So it's like this wouldn't have been the front-facing part of the castle. Sorry, not the front-facing part of the defenses. There are other layers of defenses before that. Because remember, this was someone's home basically. So over time, the family made alterations to it. Yeah, this is what I was talking about, the size of these windows. And this the bridge to the entrance. Okay, now this part of the bridge is a much later addition. It used to be a drawbridge originally, and I suspect that this wall here is also a later addition because I think it would have been an arch going right through. Again, that's what I think. I don't haven't found the original plans, so I have no idea. I'm just making things up as I go along. Okay, so again the entrance. This is just over up here. Main gate, coat of arms on top of that, and the slots for the drawbridge mechanism on top. And there's also this gate on the side, which would have had a smaller drawbridge. Kind of like the doggy door, I guess. Okay, again, going up here, you've got. I'm going to say that those are different types of bricks because I don't think it's just color and wording. Possibly sourced at different times. And here we've also got different kinds of stone. So sides of the gate are stone. You've also got stone embedded in the arches, and then it's filled in with brick. Is the coat of arms dragon eating a man? Yeah, that's the coat of arms of Milan, if I remember correctly. Again, I need to check this, but I forget if that's the Visconti coat of arms or the Sforza coat of arms, but I'll get back to you on that one. Yeah, I should have taken more notes. Right, now there's a bit of detail from the inner wall. First of all, you've got herringbone brick flooring, which I'm sure that Dungeon Mason will be delighted to note. And we've got hard stone in the corners and different layers of brick. Again, going here, it's not completely consistent, so it's not always brick, 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 brick. It's got some variations in the pattern. Now that's going to be a bit harder to model, honestly, because if it's a consistent pattern, I can just switch off my brain, do something else, and just put down the bricks. But if I want to do something like this, I'm just going to have to be a lot more mindful of it. Yeah, herringbone. Okay, this photo I took for some photo reference. So it happened to be an overcast day, which was perfect for this kind of thing because you don't get any hard shadows. And yeah, this is one that was really interesting to me because it's part of the decoration of the plaster on the walls. So basically, what you have there is plaster, and then you've got these markings cut into it. These anchors are definitely a later addition, and they're used to stabilize the walls. But the important thing is the designs on here. So the whole wall would be covered all over with these. So just checking something because Andre sent me some additional information. Hey Andre, good to see you. Yeah, like I said, I'm trying not to turn this into a history lesson, so probably any other information I'll pull up later and hit people up with it. Now, this should be pretty easy to simulate. Again, if we're going to go with the way that Gerard does his foam buildings, I'd say that getting a flat sheet of foam, maybe doing a very light foil texture on it, and then just cutting these signs on would simulate it pretty well, I think. And that's pretty straightforward. Would it be fast? No, no, it would not be fast. I can't remember what the technique is called. Starts with a P. The technique for what, Lisa? Okay, let us know, and we'll get back to it in a second. And let's see. Yeah, more of the window. I think you can see the workmanship better here. Like I said, depending on how much effort I wanted to put into it, I definitely go for yeah, 3D printing this, or literally just sculpt one out of milliput or something and then make a cast for that. Because even if you make it out of foam, you have to, you go to that effort and you make one, and then you have to make another one and another one. That would take forever. Now, these cornices, on the other hand, I think we could get away with making a jig for them, and I'm thinking making a profile for them, cutting them on the hot wire, and then yeah, basically pencil texture the brickwork on them. Okay, and this is how the inner courtyard looks. So all this would have been covered in those symbols, and you've got all these nice decorations up top here. Here we've got that material variation again. So we've got hard stone here and brick pillars in different places. Various coats of arms. So yeah, bear in mind that this is the this was a duke's palace, so you wouldn't find this level of decoration everywhere. But if you're building something, kind of high class, you can go very colorful with it. Bargaiting, I have no idea what that is. Let's see. We Google search. Oh, okay. So yeah, nice. Thanks, Lisa. Now we have a name for that. Pargeting is a decorative or waterproofing plastering applied to building walls. Moisture applied to decoration of the plastering. Oh, okay, nice. Okay, so we have a name for it now. Okay, again here. So we've got the exterior walls, which are covered in this plaster. And the interior walls are just plastered, so it's possibly whitewashed or whatever, but it doesn't have that texturing on it. Okay, so we've already seen this on the outside where you've got the stone blocks leading into the brickwork. And yeah, these uh, definitely a 3D print. I wouldn't even dream of trying to sculpt that from foam. I mean, maybe make one, but there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 7 just for this one. It would take, yeah, it wouldn't be worth it. But yeah, the level of detail on them would be really interesting to try to replicate. Different coat of arms on the columns. Yeah, that's pretty normal because you get the castle and you put your coat of arms on it. Then your kids marry into different families, so you put their better half's coat of arms on there somewhere, and then I don't know. They have kids and they marry and they put so it's just keep adding to it. Keep in mind that what we're seeing is the results of several generations and a few hundred years. Okay, I'm going to go with this was probably smooth cut here, just wore down over time. And yeah, anywhere you can think of putting a coat of arms, put a coat of arms. It's what they would have wanted. It's, Now this was one of the northern towers, and I think it's one of my favorites of the pictures that I took. So what do we have here? First of all, this little detail, where you've got the the posts for the stairs are attached on the outside. I'll be honest, this is going to make building stairs so much easier. Because usually what I would do is just literally attach the posts to the top of the stairs, and that's one point of contact. This way you've got at least two. Then you've got the rails which are embedded in the walls, and then they go into the connect to the posts. So it should be easier, and it should also be a lot more solid as well. Okay, other thing to see here is the interior of these arches. Smaller one is bricked in, but if you look at the other one, you've got some supports here, but the rest of it is wood. So that would be good to know. You don't need to, put brickwork all over the whole thing. If we look up here, we've also got the lattice, which goes under the roofing. Again, do you want to go through all this detail? Probably not, but yeah, if you want to know what goes under there, then yeah, there you have it. Unless I was doing a ruined building, I don't think I would go into the step though. Okay, more decorations over here. Because hey, why not? I mean, if they have money to spend, why not? And another coat of arms on the arch. So yeah, I mean, for decorations and stuff, keystones and things like that tend to be good places to put that kind of thing. Yeah, get a better view here. Beams over there. And here we've got that layering of brick and hardstone. Again, I'm just going to point out again that this is something that I really need to keep in mind because I tend to go, when I start building something, I tend to go single material. This building is so gorgeous. I think even the interior of the oubliette would be pretty. No, I don't think that was in the budget, Lisa. Okay, we've got some rings over here, possibly a bracket or some of some kind. I don't think it's a hinge because there was no corresponding attachment point here at least, or if there was, it's been lost. But yeah, that looks more like some kind of bracket to me. Right, and here we have the inner gate. So at this point we are. Bring up the map again for a second. Oops. At this point we are looking at this area over here. And what do we have here? So we've got multiple sets of hinges, which is that there are multiple sets of doors over there, or should be at least. Now, one thing that I often see people do is, make curved doors, but even when they're building miniature houses and so on. But this is what would be happening on the inside in most cases. The door would always be rectangular, and you've got the space for it in there. You've got an arch on the outside, but the door itself would be a rectangle. So if you're like me and you hate cutting rounded doors, yeah, don't. There is no need to. Okay, another detail of these cornices. Okay, with a door for scale. Okay, now this part again is just exposed for reference, but when this was lived in, this would have been plastered over like the rest of the wall. Okay, now these people were press ganged into being scale reference, so each of those slabs would be around the size of someone's head in height. And let's see, and about two or three times wide. Now, one thing I'd like to find out is why these hinges are T-shaped. Definitely something to look into. And mostly what I'm picking up from here, for example, even if we're going with the with different materials and so on, we can be very bold in the choice of colors when we're painting things up. Right, stone texture reference. Again, I'll be posting these up later so you can take a closer look. Reference for the hinges. Again, this is literally too much detail. I just found it interesting, but unless you're one of those people who really wants to make, movable doors and stuff, you probably don't need this. But that recess on the wall there is interesting. I'm guessing that's where that's some extra space for the hinge to pivot, or just to make it easier to put the hinge in place. The windows and doors are so big. Just how tall were the people? Ah, I'm just going to mostly slightly shorter than average for today, but it's not about their height; it's about their pimpiness. The larger windows you can afford, the richer, the pimpier you are. You really want to show off. How do you show off? You make massive doors, massive windows, and stuff like that. You really want to be able to say mine's bigger for literally everything you own. Okay, here we've got a pigeon 4 scale. And some more lovely detail here. Now, this I could probably get away with sculpting and casting, but yeah, this is going to be tricky, but it would look really good. And what you have here, these drawings over here are indicating the missing pieces. So this frieze would have covered up this whole area. Anyways, this setup is really interesting. It's like this stepped setup, and it's going to be crazy strong. And that's how you get a firing post without compromising the strength of the wall, because all that is going to be solid on top of that. Okay, this one we've seen already. And now we're on the outer courtyard. So the idea here is that this area, basically you've got the northern area where the Duke lives, then you've got the treasury on the western part here, but the this whole area here is isolated from that area. If they want to close it off, they had bridges here, and yeah, they can lock the whole place up. And again, the bridges that are there today are solid, but they used to be drawbridges. You can see the mechanisms up here. On this side, we've got this setup over here. I really need to look into why it is like that. But again, it gives you more variation in the walls. It's just not just a flat wall all along. And this side, this was really interesting because the entire wall is literally painted and super detailed, but we'll get back to that in a second. Okay, so this is one of the southern towers. Now these used to be square towers as well, but at some point in the 1600s, the towers were replaced with circular ones, just because it's much easier for them. They're much stronger against heavy artillery. But they're still connected up into the older walls. Hey Kim, good to see you. Now the stonework here is interesting because it's again hard stone, but this time instead of going for those slabs, they went for at least on the facing, it's squarish bricks, square slabs, and it's a very regular pattern. And then it changes back up into brick. One interesting thing about it is that they did try to keep with the aesthetic of the rest of the walls, but and I say it's interesting because that's something that even some architects today don't do. They'll just, build something else on top of an older thing and not care what it looks like. Okay, now, case in point, okay, this tower is pretty interesting. So the original was built in the 1400s, and they were using it as the powder store, and it collapsed in the I'm going to say the 1500s, which is why it doesn't show up in the drawings from the 1570s. Oh, sorry, 1670s. The tower was rebuilt in 1902, and basically the architect was taking care of it, just took up the original plans and rebuilt it almost exactly as it was. The only real difference is that instead of being a powder store, now it houses the mechanism for a clock. But yeah, they were super careful about making it fit in. Again, people for scale. again, you've got the coat of arms over there, but also if you go all the way down, you've got all these lovely patterns going all the way around. So yeah, beige is not the way to go. Yeah, I know, right? I got the feeling. I think we should go a lot crazier with our designs and paint and stuff. Because I think by comparison, I think most again, this is a castle. Again, one of the richest families of the area and the time period. So it would be a bit more pimped up, but I think most of the stuff we built is rather sad looking by comparison. Bit drab, if you know what I mean. Okay, same tower. And yeah, here they've gone a bit extra and actually carved stuff onto the stone there. Plus, look at all the texture on the drawing. Is there a picture of what the stained glass images are? I don't think there's any stained glass in here, to be honest. Let's go back for a second. So I'm not sure what stained glass you're talking about. If you're talking about these, that's just a painting on the plaster. Same with this. But yeah, this is the most detailed I could get. Yeah, yeah, they're painted on. Let's see. This is where I try to get a peek under the hood, just for an idea about those supports over here. But there's a better picture coming up later of a different section. And check out the detail there. Unfortunately, my zoom isn't quite good enough. But yeah, those drawings. The glass that's there now wouldn't be so clear paints. I assume there would be leaded glass or something. Yeah, that's it's like we were saying earlier. You wouldn't be able to get sheets of glass that large in the period. So it would probably either be leaded or connected together in a wooden frame. Okay, and this is what I was talking about. This kind of again, do I want to go into all that detail? Absolutely not, but it's good to know. Okay, these are some of the gates around the area. Doors, not gates, but still. Now, these are interesting because they seem to be just fake facades, and I wouldn't be shocked if they were just purely decorative. Okay, and these modifications are kind of something that would be interesting to put into might be interesting to put into models as well. Like if there was a window there before and then it got closed up and a different window opened. And yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if there were more coats of arms over these areas. Yeah, Cross, I agree with you. I mean, like, this would be it would be a terrible idea to try and build this. I mean, I know I'm not going to because it would take forever. Okay, now here we've got the same pattern that was on the targeting, I think, pattern, what Lisa said. That was on the outer area. Same decorations on top of the arches. But this one, the wall has bricks painted on the plaster, which I found really interesting. So again, I've seen that done in a few places, but mostly in churches. It's like they will build the wall out of a cheaper material and then plaster it and decorate it so that looks like it from a distance at least, or if you're squinting or in the dark, it looks like something more expensive. But it's really interesting to see it here, especially this is the courtyard in the broad daylight. I guess it does look much prettier though. Now, on the other hand, these are just magnificent. There's a lot of information that we lost here because basically whatever it was would have worn off. Again, pretty sure these would have been coats of arms of some kind. Yeah, for sure. So no, for something like this, I wouldn't even know where to start because unless you want to paint the whole thing, I mean, some kind of decal maybe. But I'm really out of ideas for this one. Then if you've got the patience to make a smaller one, I mean, it's definitely something that you can use. They look sort of chipped off to me. I mean, kind of worn, I guess. I mean, it's pigment is going to, and it's out in the open air, so it's going to wear off in time. Okay, more of the decorations here. Now, I can already tell you those chevrons are a pain in the ass to make unless you really like working with masking tape. But it's kind of funny because uh, I think everyone who does like sci-fi miniatures has done chevrons or hazard lines at some point, but I've never really seen them in historical or fantasy builds. But yeah, they do have a place. More coats of arms with more decorations because yeah, you really want people to see that. And this was the other part that I really liked because here you put even more colors going. Yeah, when it comes to terrain, I don't like to put anything that looks remotely legible or that might be legible because even if there's nothing in there, people will assume that there is and they will just stop playing and trying to decipher it. It's happened before, it will happen again, but I try to avoid encouraging it, let's put it that way. Oh yeah, this is also a really interesting detail here. So with the bricks going in at an angle, just, piling on the interesting textures. So I think this might be doable again, making a very light impression with a pencil on the foam. The only thing that's kind of freaking me out about this is that if we're going with sheets of foam, the moment you make, you make a really big mistake on something, then you've got to scrap the whole foam, even if you've already gone and done all the other texture art and so on. So it's kind of nerve-wracking. So this is definitely yeah, STL material. I'm not even going to try to do that in foam. Okay, and this is the exit point is just under the tower that we were looking at earlier. Beautifully decorated. I didn't pay attention to it then, but I just noticed that these walls are lined with the larger stone blocks. Which I think might be one of those, yeah, if you're coming through here, just remember that whoever's at the end of this castle can afford all this. You could turn mistakes into ruins. Yeah, that is always an option. Yeah. Okay, now this is the view of the castle from the outside. This would be the southeastern face. And the same tower that we were looking at earlier. Same one that we're saying was rebuilt in 1902. But with the exception of the clock, it should be pretty similar to what was there originally. The other things I'm seeing here, for example, is that these anchors have harder stone set up in there, which makes me think that this is an addition from the architect who built it in 1902. I don't think it was that was there in the original thingy, in the original tower, because this is kind of a pre-planned structural improvement. What do you call it? It wouldn't have made sense to build it and then take out the bricks and then replace it for the anchor. In fact, most of the places where there are anchors on the older walls, they're just on brick. Okay, coats of arms, nice and bold. Saint, and the spectacular looking clock. Again, not this clock is not part of the original plan for the tower, but I'll be honest, it doesn't really look out of place. They already had clocks in the 1500s, so why not? Yep. Okay, bell tower. Since we're there, and one detail that I saw in the lantern of this thing is that you've got the directions written on each side. So yeah, if you want to put hints somewhere, that might be a good place to put them, Lisa. Okay, and I think that's the end of this one. Is it currently a working clock? Yeah, I mean it's a working clock. Actually, let me see. It should be a working clock because I think they use it. It's yeah, yeah, pretty much. I think it was at the same time that we're there. Okay, so that was a quick overview of a whole lot of pictures that I took in a really cool place. Hope that's giving you some ideas. I will be cutting up and cleaning up some of the photos to post them online so that if you want a reference later on, you can find them and just look at the photos. This was just me, showing the photos and brainstorming what I could do with them or how I could make something similar. Again, and I'm saying this for myself as much as for you all. I am not planning to build that, in the near future at least, or whatever. But yeah, it would take a very long time. And with that, let's have a look at the community showcase to see what you guys have been up to. Okay, first up is Cross with his ship, which is, yeah, I think it's getting close to done, isn't it, Cross? And cargo and barrels. So yeah, not only is it a ship, it's also fully furnished. I'm kind of liking these barrels. They're all, barrels are always a pain to make, but these look really good. Especially when you pile them up together, they look the part. And Mia, let's see. Oh, okay. Yeah, you were working on these some time ago. This is the western town, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I see the cowboys in there. Oh, that is going to look good. Yeah, I don't know how she does it, but basically Mia makes a city or two for every building I make. And that's some really good stuff. Playable interior, but mostly I like the way that the roof is set up so that you can get cover and you can also place miniatures on top. Some good stuff. Town is coming along wonderfully. It is. Very high plains drifter vibes. Yeah. Oh, I love that movie. I still haven't decided if it's a horror movie or a western, but definitely a great movie. Thanks. Was stuck for a while trying to decide how to read roofs. Yeah, I think you found a good way to do it. So we've got the front that looks like a sloping roof, but then it hides the platform in the back to make it work for miniatures. So that's a good idea. Okay, and with that, I think we shall wrap up for today. Thanks everyone for joining us, and we'll be back next week with Gaming Treasure Chest, who's doing 3D printed accessories for Dungeons and Dragons. Okay. all of the Westerners. But yeah, I'll see you again next week, and you take care. Have a lovely week. Bye.